Welcome to the Caddo Convos, the podcast that explores the vibrant community of businesses thriving in Caddo Office Reimagined. We're here to shine a light on the incredible entrepreneurs and professionals who make the most of our private offices, co-working spaces, and day office rentals in the Dallas-Fort Worth suburbs. Join us as we share their stories, celebrate their successes, and dive into the benefits of working in a space that's close to home but offers so much more than working from home. Let's get started with today's conversation. Joining me today on the Caddo Convos podcast is my new friend, Daniel Turner of Sanctum Inner Wellness. And we are here at the Flower Mound location of Caddo Office Reimagined. So Daniel, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm great. Tell me about what is Sanctum Inner Wellness?
So Sanctum Inner Wellness is a private practice where my goal was to offer a bespoke approach to bodywork that allows people to create a personal relationship with their therapist that I can walk them through whatever stage of life they're in, whatever problems they're having. Ultimately, I am a body worker, but I am here to help and serve people. That's what I've been drawn to. And this is the ability for me to extend myself out to my community, ultimately to serve through body work. I'd love to teach more people about the ways to educate themselves and
heal, ideally.
Heal, yeah, exactly.
That's terrific. So Daniel, you started Sanctum Inner Wellness, and you have an office here at Caddo Office. Why do you do what you do?
Ultimately, my goal is to help people. I would say my personal struggle that we all have was like trying to find my place in the world, right? We all kind of get the same beginning. We go to school, you're given a few options like go to college, try to work in the workforce, etc. I was a relatively good student, but struggled with, self-discipline, time management, stuff like that, right? So naturally, once life kind of brought me to making those tough decisions, I chose maybe routes that didn't suit me long-term, right? So I didn't go to college. That being said, my path led me to gain a lot of skills, learn a lot about myself, through my own mistakes, more or less, right?
We all do. Yeah.
Exactly. But those opportunities essentially put me in a prime position to be where I'm at now. Yeah. And the hard part is to, in such a small amount of time, carry everyone on that journey, right?
Tell me about one of your clients, because you're in the business of helping people at Sanctum Inner Wellness. So without mentioning names, obviously, tell me about somebody you've helped.
So it gets so difficult because I help so many people with so many varieties of things.
Which is terrific.
And so realistically, the way I like to approach my business model is helping anyone in any position they're in. So realistically, I end up dealing with people who are in mid stages of life. So they're dealing with children, either going through college or young children in school. They're dealing with, older parents, professional achievements. So all the stress in their life culminates kind of at the same point of time. So ultimately being able to be that source where people can come and relax and kind of vent in a way, respectfully, and we both keep those boundaries, but it allows me to hold a space. And that's kind of the emphasis of Sanctum, was to create a space where people could come and kind of let their guard down and really, experience the body work that they need with a person that they can develop that relationship, right? When you have the box spa, you walk in, you get placed with a therapist. A lot of times you create a long-term relationship, but they're volume based, right? Yeah. We got to turn around, you have an hour, et cetera. So my whole life story, ultimately, I guess we all, as entrepreneurs or people on this path, everything happens for a reason. We don't really know, you know what I mean? So all of the things that kind of put me into this path, I didn't know they were happening. But now that I'm here, I realize that I've been called to help people in a way that
we all need. We need somebody to rely on. And you kind of mentioned the people you're serving. Would you say the majority of them are, I'd say what I call middle-aged. Now I'm 53, so yes. It's like the sandwich generation. The people that I'm pushing through, if you could say that, Daniel, is in when you're in the sandwich, and what that means is you've got children and you've got parents, and you're more or less responsible for caring for both. And so that leaves very little time for you to focus on you.
Exactly.
And that's what I hear that you're helping with.
Yes.
So people come to you and they have all of that squeezing them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're in between all of that. So talk to me about the typical engagement, like when you greet someone, how do they spend their time with you?
So my business model is set up to be by invitation only, not to separate myself from people in terms of exclusivity, but to create a prime catalytic environment for people to have that change, right? So we start with a consultation, which allows me to sit down, have a face-to-face conversation with you, in person or virtual. And that allows us to go over your needs, your goals, like what you've been struggling with, things. It gives us time to sit down versus just cramming it into a 5-minute, hey, meet and greet, let's get on the table and start to work, right? Yeah. To me, that's like the foundation so I can really establish rapport with you, because I want to be able to reach deep inside where you're struggling and pull it out so you're able to face it, right? Because ultimately when people come in, they walk through the door, I'm a stranger. Yeah. You know, I want to help you, but we have to get to a point in our connection where you feel safe enough to let your guard down, right? Obviously, I'm going to do everything in my ability to create that, but sometimes you need the extra help to get there. And so creating this business model, essentially, the goal is to be able to provide that environment for people where, you know, you're stressed out because your kids are going through life. You're stressed out because your parents are going through life and you're stuck in the middle. You're, like you said, more or less being pulled from both directions. So you don't have the time for your self-care. It's hard to set that time aside to go get a massage or go get the chiropractic adjustment. You know, there's more things to do now than ever. So ultimately, trying to be that safe place that people can come and relax and be transformed, maybe go back to where they were, the spaces they had to leave, you know what I mean, to reach those places. But ultimately, I just love to help people. I have such a vivid backstory and past that's hard to encapsulate in such a small amount of time, but
we all find our people, right? So if
exactly
in that initial consultation, whether it be remote or here at this location, you find out that it's a two-way street of vetting, right? You want to make sure that you're a good fit for them, they're good fit for your care.
Exactly.
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. What would you say is the most important thing you do, or the favorite part about, you know, why you do what you do?
I don't know. I guess it comes from my own pain. You know what I mean? Struggling in my own ways, and like I guess we all can like relate when you see someone struggling in a way that you struggled. This innate humanity kind of springs up and wells inside of you that you want to reach out and like give them a hand, right? And so I guess I've always had that kind of drive as a person.
So Daniel, so let's talk about your philosophy, not just a list of services.
My goal at Sanctum was to create a bespoke place where I can exact transformational change on people that would not happen in a traditional spa setting. It requires an extended period of time and a dedicated relationship that we are going to build over session. This will allow us to basically hone in on problems that you've had that you don't know about, things that will come up, etc.
That's terrific. And I see, and they can find this on your website, but you have two primary journeys you can take them on.
Exactly.
There's the dream session and the stone session. So let's talk about, what is the dream session?
So what I found when I work with people, there's basically two categories of people. People who are okay with receiving pain during a massage because it feels like it is productive. And there's people who do not want to experience any pain because it will regress them, essentially, right? So fundamentally, I wanted to create two sessions that would qualify people in that aspect. So basically people who are stressed out, like we were speaking earlier, who might have older parents or young children are pulled from both directions, they're going to be more receptive to the dream session, where we're going to be able to go in, create lasting relaxation, really try and calm the nervous system down and let that stress melt away, versus the stone session is basically your typical deep tissue using more advanced modalities and tools. So that's going to be more of a postural restoration, trying to change deep-seated patterns and help re-educate the body to move better.
What is a typical session? How long is it? What can they expect start to
So
finish?
I offer only 1, 2, and 3 hour increments. So we covered the core sessions, my dream and stone. I offer an insight session, which is actually my foundational service, which is just 1 hour. It's essentially a targeted service where if I'm just meeting you, we can essentially hone in on like your neck pain or your low back pain, and it gives you a good understanding of what you're dealing with. We can come up with a treatment plan and then move into doing a 2 hour or 3 hour session. So the 3 hour session is kind of what I'm trying to do to separate myself. I've called that the alchemical journey. And that's supposed to be a bespoke 3 hour transformation where I'm able to do a full stretch flow, a full deep tissue flow, and a relaxation flow, basically giving you essentially 3 different services throughout the whole thing. And you will come out basically brand new.
Let's talk about a specific customer journey. An example of, say, someone came to you with a certain pain in their body. Identifying the problem. What's the process and what's the result? So
classically, the way I'm going to assess the problem is we're going to start laying on your back, and I'm going to go from your feet up the front and down the back. We're going to assess every joint from your toes to your ankles, your knees, your hips, see how everything moves, feels, and anything that catches, snags, pinches, or pulls, we're going to note it, we're going to address it, and then we're going to basically try and trace it to its source.
Terrific. And then, so what is the typical, how many sessions do you envision for say, the average person to go through?
So it's going to depend on the person. If you're an active individual and you have a lot of muscle mass, you need more body work, just generally speaking. I have packages that I have more or less positioned them in quarterly segments. So I have a 5 hour package that would be for 1 quarter of a year. So essentially I've put it out in 5, 10, 15, 20. So I would say 20 sessions a year would be a good basis, because every 2 weeks you're getting dedicated service. We're able to re-educate the body and ultimately peel back some of the stress that is keeping you in those chronic positions.
Wow, that's terrific. So let's talk about the best way to reach you.
So the best way to reach me is directly at my website. It is sanctum.works. I'm going to spell it out for you. It's SANCTUM WORKS. Sanctum.works. On there, you'll see a large button, complimentary consultation. Click that. It'll set you an appointment with me. We'll get together. We'll meet. We'll discuss your goals, your problems, our plan. And then I will send you a personalized invitation to make a member portal account on my website that will give you access to my private calendar, the referral program, and access to the packages.
So Daniel, parting thoughts as we close out the podcast.
So I just want to remind people that it's important to remember your body has an innate intelligence, and true wellness isn't about forcing or fixing anything. It's about creating the right conditions for your body to heal itself. And it's a process of trying to attune all these different cycles and patterns together. And ultimately, my practice is built on the idea of trying to give you the space to heal and the time to transform.
That's really terrific. Well, Daniel, thank you for coming in and being a guest on the Caddo Convos today.
And thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on the Caddo Convos podcast. A huge shout out to our incredible network of members for making our community vibrant and supportive. If you're looking to boost your productivity and reduce the isolation of working from home, consider joining us at Caddo Office Reimagine. Our spaces are designed to meet your evolving needs, support remote work, and foster a sense of community that's hard to find at home. Whether you're a startup aiming for growth, a freelancer seeking a professional setting, or a company looking to optimize resources, Caddo offers a perfect blend of flexibility and innovation. By joining us, you'll be a part of a dynamic business ecosystem that helps you thrive. For more information, visit caddooffices.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Caddo Convos.